You watch 100 Mile Drive, and today I have the biggest comparison on this channel, comparing this 2023 Lexus RX 350h hybrid that has two electric motors paired to a 4-cylinder gasoline engine with total output of 246 horsepower, comparing that to gas-powered Lexus RX 350. And I'm here to tell you which RX feels better to drive and which one I would personally buy. Let's get into it. By the way, did you know that this is the only luxury self-charging hybrid on the market? There's absolutely no competition to this. There's no more Infiniti, at least in the United States. There's no more Acura MDX hybrid. This is it. This is unique car. So I'm super excited about telling you guys how does this car feel to drive. And I already made two videos on Lexus RX 350 gas-powered version, so I'm gonna put a link in the description below. Both videos have close to 6,000 views on this small channel. And by the way, if you like this video, go ahead to the like button, subscribe this channel. It's gonna tremendously help me. Really quickly, we're just going to talk about the exterior of this white Lexus RX 350h versus the copper crest color that I got the other day. I think even in this white color, this Lexus looks fantastic. This one comes in these 19-inch wheels, and these are, if you're curious, a 235/60 R19 front and rear. Now, if you really care about the appearance, the looks of your Lexus, then I'd highly recommend the 21-inch wheels. I'm going to talk about their ride quality, but they look absolutely gorgeous and make your Lexus look top-notch. Overall, this Lexus looks really nice. I mean, in the rear, side, front, I think they've done a tremendous job. And I do like the copper crest color more. That's just my personal opinion. I think the Lexus looks much more elegant. Now let's get in on the inside. All right, and now let's get on the inside. Now this Lexus RX 350 came with the black interior, so that was kind of interesting to see what the other color looks like. Now my personal preference would be a Paloma bamboo interior of the Lexus that we had the other day. I just think it looks much more upscale with that two-tone interior, but nevertheless this black interior looks nice as well. It's really subjective. Some people like this versus the other one. Look, this car only has 408 miles. Now I'm only curious about this part. I'm surprised actually why it moves here. Don't expect that from Lexus quality, but it doesn't creak, it just moves for some reason, not sure why. Down here everything is fine, as well as this centerpiece, very sturdy. I mean, it's all quality. Good to do an ownership update, you know, if somebody has, I guess, this car, you know, when it reaches 30-50,000 miles. But we know Lexus quality usually is top notch. The steering wheel also has a wooden insert. It's black, kind of blends in here. Overall steering feel is nice. Actually, this one is much grippier for some reason. I don't know why than the other one. I complained the other one was a little slippery, but this one looks grippy. All right, now let's go ahead and drive it. And first, driving Lexus RX 350 in this city. Now, first I want to find out this 4-cylinder engine paired to two electric motors. Is this like a buzzy engine with the CVT transmission that's droney? I'm going to find out all that, so let's get into it. So I'm going to put it in the sport mode, sport drive, and let's go ahead and try it. All right, let's go. You can hear that CVT transmission making the droney sound. Overall, not bad, I would say. Obviously, the gas-powered Lexus picks up and takes off, you know, a lot nicer, a lot more premium compared to this hybrid version. And let's go. Now, this is a front-wheel drive model. Well, it has a good pickup. It has a decent pickup. So now let's go ahead and hit the stop sign, and then we're gonna floor it again. All right, stop, let's go. And this is an all-wheel drive standard. It feels okay. You know what? I'll say it's adequate. I'll use the word adequate. It's obviously not as premium feel compared to the gas-powered version. So if you really care about, you know, the premium feel about how Lexus takes off, then I'll say the gas-powered version would be the right one for you. If you care about the fuel economy, then you definitely want to consider this one. So another stop sign. Let's go. All right. It's trying really hard. I mean, it's not bad. Like, one thing I can say, of course, the NX hybrid Lexus 350h felt quicker and felt kind of right for that car. Now this one feels like it could have a little more power, but that's where Lexus says, you know what, if you don't like this, go with the RX 500h, well, which is way more expensive than this one, but most likely that one will feel more, it will feel like it has the right amount of power. So another stop sign, we're gonna try again, and let's see. It's adequate, you know. I'll use that word again. It's definitely not fast. It definitely feels like in this category of Lexus, you kind of want more power out of this, you know, setup. But it is what it is, and obviously they had to take in consideration the weight of the car and the fact that, you know, it has to offer some good fuel savings. And then just one more time, and not bad, not bad. Let's just say not bad. Now, most people who are gonna buy this car probably not even gonna care too much about the, you know, acceleration and braking and even suspension. So, you know, in terms of like a peak performance, in terms of like peak power. So, what about the brakes, right? The brakes I feel like the standard Lexus feels a little bit more solid in terms of the body movement. This Lexus also is pretty solid, I would say, but it has a little bit of forward motion when you brake. It's nothing abnormal, nothing crazy. Let's do another stop here, another brake. Yeah, it feels slight, there's slight, not even delay, but like a little longer travel to get the good stopping power. That's probably has to do with the hybrid setup. It's nothing abnormal, it's nothing that I would say like it's a red flag or something. It's pretty fine. Now, steering also, I noticed on this Lexus is slightly lighter. It's a lighter steering. Let me throw it now in a normal mode. I have to flip the page to get to the, you know, driving mode selections, which I do not like, honestly. But the steering feels a little lighter. It's still nicely balanced overall. It just feels a little lighter than in the regular RX. And now we're gonna go ahead and drive on the bumpy roads and see how the suspension handles, if it's any different. And now driving Lexus RX 350h hybrid on the bumpy roads, my favorite Tampa Avenue. And let's see, I'm gonna hit these potholes. So it's pretty much the same as I drove the gas-powered version. The suspension setup is kind of on the softer side, on the more comfy side. Now, it's not a mushy soft, it's pretty well balanced. Fairly impressed how they did it in this new Lexus. Now, the 19-inch wheels, they kind of, I would say the difference between 19-inch wheels and 21-inch wheels, especially on the bumpy roads, is barely not noticeable. I really don't see any difference. So if you really want those bigger wheels, go for them, because this doesn't have run flat tires, so the rubber is kind of soft, and suspension is on the comfortable side. So you're gonna enjoy the appearance, and you're not gonna sacrifice the comfort. Okay, now I'm driving Lexus RX on kind of beat up road, Tampa Avenue, and this is Lexus DNA in action. It nicely smoothens out the bumps and dips. Now we are riding on 21-inch wheels. I can feel those, that they add to a little bit firmness in some cases, and how the shocks respond. Like I could tell if you take this car on the regular wheels, like a 19-inch, I believe, right? It'll have even better feel of the road, like how, let's say, it smoothens out those little imperfections. So there is a little bit of stress going on there, but it's manageable. It's not a downer. It still feels nice. It still feels solid. So suspension is kind of on the comfortable side. So I'm fairly impressed how comfortable this Lexus is. And the hybrid is pretty much the same as the gas-powered version. Even though the car is slightly heavier than the gas-powered version, I don't see any difference, really. I don't see any significant difference, even minor difference, including the wheels. Having the smaller wheels, I feel it rides pretty much comfortable. this one and the gas powered version pretty much rode the same way. All right, so now I'm gonna do some hopping into the local neighborhood, talk a little bit more about the steering, like running local errands, how easy it is to drive the hybrid system. Now, this is the third Toyota product that I'm driving, the NX, RAV4 hybrid, and now this RX. And all three, in terms of the hybrid setup, feel about the same. I literally feel about the same. Acceleration, braking, the steering setup's different. Suspension setup is different, of course, in all these cars, but the hybrid system overall feels about the same, and I kind of like it. It's not underpowered like it used to be. It's fairly good, and then we kind of all used to the CVT transmission at this point. Hate it or love it, but that's what it is. Now, like I said, steering feels lighter in this car, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. Now, the perfect way to drive this car, right, is either normal or eco mode, and you just cruise. And that's where you kind of get into the Lexus world, where you just simply cruise. You're gonna feel like you're floating on the road, and that's the most proper way to enjoy Lexus. That's how you should be driving it. And I'm sure most buyers who are buying this vehicle pretty much gonna do just that. And for that same reason, I think the Lexus 350h is the car to get, because the gas-powered version, let's face it, it is not super fast. Also, you sacrifice on fuel efficiency. Like, it's like worse than my B58. It's worse than my, BMW 6-cylinder engine. Literally that. So if you don't really get that performance, then why even bother getting that? You're getting all-wheel drive standard in this version. So I think the hybrid version is the one to get. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drive it on the highway, just to see if it has adequate power, punching power to climb the highway, overtake cars on the highway, and how does it feel cruising on the highway. All right, and now I'm gonna drive Lexus RX 350h on the highway. So I'm gonna go ahead and merge the highway here. I'm in a normal mode. That's what you're gonna mostly drive in. And let's try to climb. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I mean, we're dealing here with the bigger car, but overall it has enough power. Let's just say enough power. And I do like that it's all-wheel drive. No tire slipping. That's pretty nice. Off we go. Slight wheel spin. All right, so merging the highway here. So I've already done a sound insulation test on this Lexus. It was around 62 decibels. I think it's about the same in this car. So the cabin is fairly quiet. It's a nice place to be in. This is definitely a cruiser. This car is certainly a cruiser. I mean, you just get in your lane and you just cruise. Just listen to your music. By the way, the standard sound system is okay. It has 12 speakers. It's fine. But if you really like we do like in our BMW, we have a Carmen hardened system, which we paid extra for. Like if I were to get this car, I would totally get the Mark Levinson system, which you will have to get extra if you're pre-ordering. Like you can configure, let's say, a Premium Plus RX, or if you're looking at the dealership, then it'll only come in like those luxury models. So somebody's trying to enter the lane. Now, the next thing I want to see how easy it is to overtake cars, right, on the highway. Wow, there's a Ferrari here trying to do something weird. Okay. All right, so just kind of see what the mid-range power, and it's absolutely fine. It has plenty of mid-range power. Yeah, it's actually, honestly, it feels like it doesn't struggle, but it feels like it's droning more at the lower speeds than at the mid-range and higher speeds. Like at mid-range power, it feels like it has enough torque to get you going even faster. And the car is very stable. The platform is very stable, so even at the higher speeds, this car feels pretty stable. So I like that. So it's not mushy. It's not that, like the older version of Lexus had those kind of soft, like kind of a little bit bouncy way of driving sometimes. This feels solid. This feels like a European version, you know, of Lexus. Or basically they got to the point where they found the perfect blend. And now let's go ahead and drive this car on the canyon roads. And now driving Lexus RX 350h on a canyon road. Let's go. I'm in a sport mode. All right, so what we're trying to see here, how does this car compare to the gas-powered engine, a Lexus RX? And let's throw it in some corners and then we'll see. Nothing crazy, just to see if there's, you know, a huge difference. I already saw some difference actually. So I'm gonna be happy to report that. Some bikers. All right, so entering a corner. Another corner here. And another corner here. So one thing I can tell you is that this RX 350h, the hybrid version, feels like it carries slightly more weight. Why? Like there's a body shift, like what I feel here. When it loads for the corner, there's slightly more body shift than the regular Lexus. Another issue I see, it's not an issue, but the difference is the brakes. Of course, there's less power, but at least power is instant, as a CVT transmission doesn't lag. Like as a step on the gas, it responds pretty quickly. But when I hit the brakes, the traveling for the brake pedal is longer. So to get the braking power takes a little bit longer. So it's not something you kind of want to see, you know, when you're in a dangerous situation. You want things to be a little bit quicker. Now, it's definitely not going to impact your day-to-day driving. This is just in, you know, dangerous situations. Look, it took really nicely this corner. Another cool thing, like even if it loses a little bit of grip, it just slides. So it does the right moves. The chassis is rigid. Chassis doesn't shake. It doesn't do any dance, anything abnormal. Chassis stays very well planted, even in this hybrid setup. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed actually. It's definitely not a car to have fun with on the back roads, but it shows me its character. It shows me that it's safe. It shows me that this car is well planted. I can feel some weight in this car, but the way they set up suspension here, it's very nicely able to carry it. It is good for what it is. Let's just say that. Yeah, I wish the brakes were a bit more instant than what they are. But once the braking power comes, it's fine. It brakes just fine. Now, there's a very tiny lag in the pickup, but it's only when you need that power very quickly. Other than that, it's good for what it is. I mean, the best part is the control, the body control. It doesn't show any signs of losing control. It doesn't show any signs of behaving dangerously. It's behaving very nicely. So, you know, even if there's a dangerous obstacle in front of you, you know, the car is gonna shift the body, this and that, but at least it'll be able to do what you're gonna try to do with it. It's not gonna lose traction. Or even if it loses traction, which it easily can, at least the sliding is very predictable on how it does it. So pretty pleased with this Lexus. Yes, there is a difference. The major difference, of course, in acceleration, mid-range power, braking, and the handling are more crisp in the gas-powered version of the RX versus the hybrid. Nevertheless, hybrid is not bad. It's good for what it is. It is safe. It's, you know, very well. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty balanced. It feels like it doesn't lose control. The body is rigid. So now let me go ahead and summarize. All right, I just finished driving Lexus RX 350h in the city, highway, and canyon roads, and here's my conclusion. Now, if you're looking for a car that has a better acceleration, better braking, and more athletic handling than Lexus RX 350 gas-powered version, is the Lexus to get. Now, if you're just all about cruising, you know, enjoying your quiet cabin, listening to your Mark Levinson audio system or your favorite, you know, station, whatever it is, then the Lexus RX 350h is the one to get, as you're gonna definitely save money on the fuel, and you're getting all-wheel drive system, which is standard. Now, which personally I would buy? Well, even from a guy who has X3 M40i, I would get Lexus RX 350h because I'm not trying to mess with Lexus DNA. I know what Lexus is all about. It's about quiet cabin. It's about, you know, floating on the road, enjoying the comfortable suspension, listening to your favorite music, you know, maybe going on a long trip. So definitely I would get this one because I like the idea of a standard all-wheel drive and saving money on the fuel. So I hope you got some value out of this video and you have some ideas which Lexus to get. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Alright, and I just completed driving Lexus RX 350h in the city, highway, and canyon roads, and here's my conclusion.